We thank Allah Azza wa Jal who has made it easy for us to be here again. Alhamdulillah. So today being the third episode on our weekly podcast, Raising Confident Children, Season 2. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So today we are talking about how to discipline without yelling. Okay, we are here again to remind us simple tips, trick you can use. I remain your humble sister and coach, Basira Roji. I'm passionate about helping mom raise confident children through the lens of Islam in Allah. Many of us want to discipline with love. We don't want to yell, we don't want to spank, we don't want to shame our children. We don't want to turn our home into a siren, like when you start shouting, screaming. However, as much as we want, there is no support system or we don't even know how to go about it. So stay tuned to the end of the session. Promise to be value packed. Alright. So the problem with yelling is sometimes when you get yourself into the struggle, you know, where you get yourself into the struggle zone with your children, you want them to pick the toys but they ignore, you ended up yelling. Okay, sometimes you just want to instruct them to carry out a task. Okay, but they what they do not listen or they do not respond when you call them. Okay, in most cases, if you don't have the inbuilt toolkit in place, you don't have the right way to respond, you end up yelling, screaming, shaming your children. Okay, so I gave an example of you want them to pick up their toys and the child ignores, then shouting escalates tension. All right, and this reduces trust as well, and it models anger to your children. You are teaching your children that when they are in a situation where they don't have power, violence is the alternative, is the solution. Okay, and which is not supposed to be. The side effects of yelling, you see your children start having emotional insecurity, they start to fear you, and that fear makes parents think that the yelling works because they tend to listen at that moment, they tend to yield at that moment, they tend to do what you ask them to do at that moment due to fear. All right, and you do not want to model that to your children. You want to raise children whether you are there or not, they choose to do the right thing, bismillah, not out of fear of what you will do or how you will react. And this also build poor listening habits in children. Okay, if you are joining us, please in the comment section let us know where you are joining from. All right, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, Afwan, the Prophet Sallam told us that we should never we should always use word of mercy to speak to people. The Prophet ﷺ never shout. He never shouted at children or used harsh words. He taught us that something that mercy is put into, it beautifies it. And where harshness is built into, the opposite. And the modern studies of yelling, it shows that yelling raises anxiety in children, not obedience. Alright, so have you ever found yourself in a situation where you yelled recently? How did it make you feel afterwards? Do you feel good about yourself? How was the relationship between you and your child? And for those of us that still have children in their early years, it's dangerous to their upbringing, because you want to raise them upon the deen of Allah, yes, and also a foundation, a good foundation for connection with your children. You want to build that connection while they are still young. Okay? Right. Okay. So let me give you a key principle, key practical tools you can use, practical steps you can follow to make it easy for you while starting out. You don't want to be you want to come down to your child's eye level to communicate with them. You want to use lovely words or names, or call their name lovingly to build connection. And you want to give clear, straight cut instruction. You don't want to start saying, "Didn't you hear I asked you to pack the toys?" Just go straight to Abdullah, pack up the toys. Alright? Okay, use straightforward words. Don't use negative. Instead of saying don't run, you can say walk slowly. Model calmness. Your children imitate you more than they listen to you. Instead of yelling from the kitchen, you can walk to your child, touch their shoulder, look in their eyes, and call the name of the child. Abdullah, it's time to put toys away. Okay? So many practical exercise that you can start doing today. Reframe don'ts to giving positive. Instead of don't run, you can always say walk slowly. Alright, give direct, clear instruction. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran that, and speak to people good words in Surah Al-Baqarah. Use it with your children. The hadith of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu said, the most beloved deeds to Allah are those done consistently. And this, you just don't want to do it once and then you feel you have done or something. No, it's something that should be consistent, and over time you realize you get used to it. And being this practical steps you have said does not mean that you are a permissive parent. I've talked about permissive parents in our previous session. You can go back to them. So another thing is consistency in your discipline reshape habits over time. If you are consistent, your children too get used to the new normal. Okay? And even the Prophet ﷺ told us or encouraged us that we should always turn fully, like get people attention before speaking. And this we should also model from. So you can also imagine how your home feel different if you replace yelling with consistent firmness, with consistent guidance, with consistent what we've said earlier, coming to their level, give clear-cut instruction and all of that. So these are all practical um the second steps I want to share with you, the connection rule. Okay, the first one you want to try to do this week and see how it feels in your home, and I would love to get your feedback here on the YouTube or in my WhatsApp. All right, I'll be dropping the link in the description. All right, so for 1 week, try to pause when your children do something that maybe raise your anger, that you feel that urge, that nudge to really yell, to really spank, to really shame, to really, that eruption of anger. Try to pause. Nothing says you must react immediately. It's just the way we have been wired, it's what we have been used to, and it's time to break that generational circle. All right, so you want to pause and think through before um, giving instruction or whatsoever you want to do. The Prophet Salam encourages that when you are angry, you are standing, you should sit. You are sitting, you should lay. If you try to address the issue at that point, most cases, now you are angry, you are not in control of your emotion anymore. Most likely, in some cases, shaitan takes over. So you want to pause and look at the whole scenario and calm down. Then before you move on to the next. And you also want to use your connection tools, one of which is eye contact, maybe gentle touching the child, maybe patting their back or their shoulder or whatever, a way that will make them feel secure, make them feel loved, make them feel heard, make them feel seen. Then give your instruction. You will also notice the attitude of your children and the way they respond. All right, give clear cut instruction in simple words, simple sentences. Their attention span is not as much as the bundle of words that we use in giving them instruction. Okay, all right, so um, you can also take notes. You can also take notes of your child's reaction when you do this. Okay, so yelling break connection, sisters. Children respond best to when you are calm and firm, when you guide them firmly. And the sunnah of the Prophet Salam is our roadmap. So I hope in Allah this week, the remaining of this week and the next week to come in Allah, you are going to implement these tools, hold it daily, and practice them, and see how yelling starts to fade away from you. May Allah grant us wisdom and patience and mercy in raising children who listen with love, not fear. Alright, so being Allah, we'll see next week where we talk about in the fourth episode of the weekly podcast Raising Community Children Season 2. Stay tuned for updates of what we'll be discussing next week, being Allah. So thank you for showing up. Let me know where you are joining from or where you joined us from today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.